Nikunj, thank you so much for joining us in this next edition of the Fire Up series of startup founder interviews. We're trying to get different perspectives from startups based on their experiences, things that have worked well for a startup. Even early stage startup often figure something out that starts to work well for them, and that's the experience that we want to share with the broader startup community. So with your product, you are kind of in a place where you have to communicate how your technology can help a customer. So you have to show them the value before they will even adopt something
Right.
like you, not an obvious category. So that value communication is what we're going to be discussing with you. So thanks for joining us. And just to get the context, can you just quickly share your journey, entrepreneurial journey, and how you got to where you are today with the product.
Okay, sure. So first of all, thank you so much for having me here. We started with Enterprise Solution 4 years back as a Data on Innovation Labs. We worked with various enterprises and various different domains. So we worked with real estate companies. We have worked with fintech companies and building analytics related solutions with them. And last year we were working in digital marketing space, and that is where the idea of Shopper came up. So as a part of a client discovery, we had interviewed a lot of people who were using ads as a medium to get customers, and that is where we realized that these people rely on intuition when it comes to decision making, right? When somebody wants to run a campaign, they would figure out what could be the right kind of audience for my products, what could be the right geographies for my products, which are the customer segments. So they would make certain assumption, and based on that they would like define criterias for their ads. And it was not at all data driven, and there was a lot of revenue leak in terms of they were spending more and getting less ROI. So that is where we started the idea of Shopper. And the industry that we found which was spending more on ads was the e-commerce industry. So we chose to solve the problem for e-commerce first.
So what is the primary value that your product brings? I mean, like to your customers.
So the primary value that we provide is basically insights and data points which they can use in their day-to-day decision making. So for example, as an e-commerce store owner, when I run my store online on my own using a platform like or WooCommerce, I use the inbuilt analytics that is provided by these platforms. Plus, I use various marketing channels to gain customers. I might be running Facebook ads. I might be running Google ads. I will be using some emailing tool to reach out to my customers. And on top of that, these all these platforms they have their own analytics module, right? So they will give you certain data points. But now, as a business owner, if I spend time on looking at each of these platforms and data points, I'll be lost. So what we did is basically we created Shopper and we integrated our product with all of these platforms, and we bring all the crucial matrices from each of these platforms on a one single dashboard. So you save a lot of time understanding your data points. That is first step. Second is when you're making decisions for running your campaigns. So the usual decision that you need to make is about which locations to target. So we provide you which are the best location which are working for you. Then which kind of customer segments, what are the products which are selling more, in which geographies and things like that. So when we provide these kind of insights, we tell them that these are the best performing campaigns, which these are the best performing audiences, and people use those insights to create their audiences and then get better results out of their marketing campaigns.
So at some level, like they have their business and their customers and the revenues that they get. They
Right,
take ads to get some of the leads and some of the business, and
right.
then you are there telling them like you're going to tell them how effective are their ads. Now,
Right.
how do you attribute that your suggestion is leading to the revenue? That connection, how do you make? Because that's important for them to be able to see value in your product. So how do
So,
you kind of communicate that value that okay, this is what you're going to be bringing and how it's going to help them increase revenue?
so right now the end-to-end attribution is not there, but what we do is basically we measure historical performance. So let's say a store is 2 years old. They have been running campaigns for 2 years. So there is a certain benchmark which has been set up, right? So when you run a campaign, this is your average customer acquisition cost, right? After using Shopper, we will keep analyzing these values, and let's say after using Shopper for 4 months, if there is a significant improvement, then we generally tell them that after like applying the insights from the Shopper, your CAC is reduced by this much, and now we are getting more ROI out of this. So, and we are also like in the next phase of product, we are working on end-to-end attribution, where we will provide them uh, certain I would say certain parameters which will they will have to, and when a user comes from those parameters, we would be able to tell them that this campaign was suggested by Shopper, and these are the attribution. This is the revenue which is generated by our suggestions.
So in your case, you have a live integration with their business system, because on the ad side you have access to the data, but on the business side.
Yes, so we have access to their ads accounts, and we also have access to their e-commerce store. So it's the like 360-degree data that we are getting already. It's just a matter of connecting the dots between these data points, and then we'll be able to figure out like what is happening because of which campaigns. If the user is coming from a mailing campaign, if the user is coming from a Facebook ad or Google ad, everything would be able to like make sense.
So the once there are few customers, then the whole communication, the challenge or the model might be a little different. To the first few customers, what did you communicate? How do you get them interested?
So one best thing that we did is to like even before we started building the product, we started talking to a lot of people in the space. So we from the initial phase of product, we started putting out content regarding e-commerce. When people started reading it, we started reaching out to them and understand like what are the problems that you are facing. So we sort of created a closed set of community of 200, 300 e-commerce founders who would like give us feedback on like all the MVPs that we have built. And once we launched the product, we were able to like get some of them on board and get it validated from them. That has helped us in like defining certain key features for the product, and also get like early adoption from these customers.
So through those initial set of customers, did you kind of identify where the value is higher? Like the usual process of market making and market discovery, you understand segment, the value is higher. So did you discover the particular segment where the value from your product is higher, even within e-commerce?
Yes. So what happened is earlier we were selling these to B2B. So we were selling this product directly to the e-commerce store owners. But recently, like after this pandemic situation, we had a lot of time. So we also started to understand our customer base. We started talking to a lot of people, and then we realized that the product value makes more sense for a digital marketing agency owner who is having e-commerce store owners as a customer. So we recently like closed one deal with one of the largest agency, which has a lot of e-commerce customers. So what they want to do is they want to white label our solution and provide it as an analytics to their customers as a part of their premium offer. A whole lot of new opportunities for us. So right now we are focusing on those kind of leads where we like sell high volume licenses to these businesses, and they provide our solution to their customer as a part of their offering.
So kind of a little bit in a way vertically integrated with whatever they are offering.
Right.
So, so now going back to original e-commerce, this is a different segment. So here it is like if you have few customers that you already have, it's easier to convince them. Saying, look, I got these e-commerce stores already as my customer, and so others also like this. So you're a channel, so it might be relatively easier to convince them, and it's anyway revenue sharing. They're not much they're investing outside. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. So they're probably okay. So long as convinced there's a good possibility, they're willing to try it out. If you go back to the original e-commerce store case again, how do you present? I mean, there is value, like you said, that you can talk about to them. Now, do you present? Do you look at the current data and present numbers that they can expect by using your product? what do you go and tell them in terms of results they can expect should they do a pilot with you?
Right. So initially it was taking a lot of time to convince these people to try the product, right? But after like we got certain early users, we tried to understand like what kind of benefits they are getting. So once there was certain set of people who found a value, they sent us certain feedbacks in terms of like testimonials and stuff. So we made those testimonials and videos as a part of our pitch. So now, rather than me selling my product, I would rather have my customer tell the value to other customers, and then they would understand that no, if other businesses are getting benefit out of it, I might also get benefit. So then they are inclined towards trying it out. Once they are able to like sign up on the platform, they try it for a few days. We'll keep in touch with them. We will understand that if they are facing any challenges, if they think there's certain features which are missing, and then we try to like figure out how to make those features available or how to add value to their businesses. In certain cases, we have also provided them with like a consultant who would help them, who would get on a call with them, analyze all their campaigns manually, and tell them which kind of mistakes they are making. Right. So it's not only value by the product, but it is also value by the community that we have created from all these founders that they get.
So, so the value, especially in your case, at some level, it is quantifiable. Like you said, you can track back
Right.
to the ad campaigns and such, and it's quantifiable. So do you build it into your the product as well in terms of like the dashboards and the metrics that you present to the users? So some of these are kind of tied into the product as well. It's one thing to tell them, look, this is what you will expect. It's something else to show them, look, as it is happening, look, you see it. So do
Right.
you build it into your product also, some of these metrics, the value metrics?
So we are currently working on adding those kind of things. So initially, when we like built the product, uh, we did not accommodate these kind of things into our offering. But now we realize that if we start telling them that when you run this kind of campaign, this is the amount of like additional sales that you are getting, right? If we tell them that, it makes more sense. So now we are working on adding those kind of things on inbuilt in our dashboard.
And does it also help again, like different channels have different personas, user profiles in different channels. So
Right.
does it also help them understand where they should invest more?
Yes. So we what we do is we show them all the marketing channels together. So let's say if you're running Facebook ads, Google ads, and Mailchimp, we will show them like which channels are performing better. Now we are working on a more intuitive way to present this data, where our machine learning algorithms will predict if you use, let's say, Facebook ads and allocate more budget on it, you might get higher ROI, right? So we are investing in building those kind of features, which will like give more confidence to people to like choose marketing channels based on historical performance, their audiences, and their behavior.
So I mean that brings up another value aspect. I mean when you talk about emerging technology, you're building some AI, I mean machine learning models and such.
Right.
So there may be some customers who might get excited by the technology, the fact that you're using some cutting edge, latest, they may be willing to try.
Right.
But how often does it happen? Is that a value in itself that you're using some new technology, or do the customers don't care? They only want to see what value they can get.
So initially, right now, if you see our tagline, the copy on the website, we had to change it. So earlier when we started, we used a term called customer science platform for e-commerce. Now this was a very technical term, and all the features that we are listed, we used to mention like what kind of technologies we are using to analyze customer behavior, to do classification and things like those. And there were certain set of customers which were able to relate, but the majority of them failed to relate with the kind of offering that we were providing. So we had to redo whole copy of the website and the way we communicate to our customers. We changed the focus from like technologies to value, that if you use this you get this, and that way they were able to relate more. So that is one learning that we got over the period of time, that these people like larger enterprises or larger businesses would understand the technologies, and then they would want to invest in that. But the SME segment is still don't care about the technology. They care more about the value that they are getting. So still the message has to be that way.
So, recap, in the initial stages, of course, you have to show them, you have to kind of convince them that there is value. It's more subjective. After
Right.
you get the first set of users, I mean customers, then you can use their testimonials, use that as a way to communicate, because you're hearing from a customer who has experienced it. And if the
Right.
name is a bigger name, even better, the more credible. So use that. Then the third thing you said was like try and capture these some of the value metrics, build it into the product,
Right.
dashboards and wherever, so that like as it is happening, they should be able to experience it. Like you said, comparing different channels, which channel is working well and how is the returns per dollar of ad spend.
Correct.
So build it into the product. And the
Right.
fourth thing you said was like technology may or may not, it excites some, doesn't excite some. But even
Right.
with technology, we still need to communicate the product value anyway, in terms of what it means for business. But how you do it might add confidence to some at least. They still like
Right.
the value, but when you talk about how you're doing it, the confidence in your offering might become higher if they realize it's technology.
Correct.
So, does that summarize the points you highlighted?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, before we sign off, so from your experience in these last 4 years as an entrepreneur, and even otherwise, even before that, is there? I mean, can you share one growth hack tip that you would want to share with other startup founders based on your experiences? One growth hack tip.
So one growth hack that we specifically tried for Shopper is like educating the customers on like value of analytics. Started putting out a lot of content even before we started building our MVP. So when we were just into conceptualization stage, I was reading a lot about these technologies. So I started putting together like key points out of those reading and putting out on our blog. And when we launched, we had a lot of traffic coming in. People knew the brand. They were talking about the brand in the community. They were sharing the blog posts and things like that. So that helped us like drive initial adoption very quickly. So we did not need to struggle in terms of like getting a few early customers on board, even like free customers to try out the product. So if somebody is willing to even spend time on your product, that is a good thing, right? So they would give you some feedback. If they leave the product, you know that there's something missing,
Shortcoming. Hmm.
right? So that helped us a lot. So a lot of founders building a product that they forget about sales and marketing. So I would say both is a parallel activity. When you are building a product, you need to make sure that you also are talking to customers and communicating the value that whatever you are building is making sense for the audience that you are targeting.
No, I think thought leadership, I think it's a fantastic point. Very few startups do it. I mean, I'm sure there's some opportunity for thought leadership. They
Yes,
should write about it and then like start sharing and put that you even before you launch your product.
right,
So you realize that that's a key part of your proposition. So it's good to build appreciation for the technology and the understanding
right,
what it can do. But at least even if not before, at least after, I think you're right. They should kind of the thought leadership is the best, and it can come only from the founding members of the
right,
startup. They have the best perspective on this. I think
right.
it's a fantastic point. So, so Nikunj, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. I know you had a very busy day. And so thanks for taking the time to join us today in this
Thank you
lineup.
so much for having me. I thoroughly enjoyed the conversation and
Yes.
look forward to being part of CIE ecosystem.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We'll do more. Post-lockdown, we'll do more.